Happy morning, students. I am your chemistry miss. I welcoming you to all today's session. Next week you are going to write first terminal examination. We have 7 lesson, that is volume 1 full. Now we are going to revise first lesson metallurgy. Some important question and answer. Okay. So first question, what is the difference between minerals and ores? So difference between minerals and ores, what is, first you know the meaning of what is mineral and what is ores. Okay. So minerals means the naturally occurring substance obtained by mining which contain the metal in free states or in the form of compound like oxide, sulfide, etc. is called as a mineral. Then ore means it contain high percentage of metal which can be extracted conveniently, economically, are called ores. Okay. The next question, what are the various steps involved the extraction of pure metal from the ores? So we can follow some method to extraction of pure metal from the ores. First method is a concentration of the ore. Then second method is extraction of the crude metal. Third one is a refining of the crude metal. The next question, what is the role of limestone in the extraction iron from its oxide Fe2O3? So the limestone, that is the formula CaO, it is used as a flux in the extraction of iron from its oxide Fe2O3. So as a flux is a chemical substance that forms easily fusible slag with the gauge. You know the meaning of the slag and the gauge. So oxide of the iron can be reduced by carbon monoxide, that is Fe2O3. Oxide, the oxide of Fe2O3, if we can separate the iron ore, so we can reduce by carbon monoxide. Fe2O3 plus 3CO, that is carbon monoxide, we get a pure iron. Then in the extraction, basic flux is a quicklime or lime CaO. It reacts with the acidic gauge silica to form slag calcium silicate, that is CaO, that is a flux plus gauge gives us a slag. The flux is a CaO, then gauge is a SiO2, we get a slag CaSiO3. Then fourth question, which type of ores can be concentrated by fortification method? Give two example for such ores. So sulfide ore can be concentrated by fortification method. The example for that, galena, BB, the formula is PBS. Lead sulfide is called as a galena. Then zinc sulfide, the formula is ZnS. Zinc sulfide is ZnS. Okay. Then fifth question, out of coke and CO, which is a better reducing agent from the reduction of zinc oxide? The formula is ZnO. Why? Then out of coke and carbon monoxide, coke is a better reducing agent than CO for the reduction of ZnO. So reduction by carbon can be applied to zinc which does not form carbide with the carbon at a reduction temperature. That is zinc oxide plus carbon, we get zinc plus carbon monoxide. So zinc oxide lies above the CO in Eleglan diagram, meaning the CO is more stable than ZnO. So it can be reducing agent, carbon can be used as reducing agent for the reduction of zinc oxide. Okay. The next question, describe the method of refining nickel. In Mond process, impure nickel is heated with carbon monoxide at around 350 Kelvin. Nickel react with the carbon monoxide to form volatile nickel tetracarbonyl. The formula is NiCO4. So the solid impurities are left behind. So nickel plus carbon monoxide, we get a nickel tetracarbonyl. And heating the nickel tetracarbonyl, we get a nickel plus carbon monoxide. We get a pure nickel, that is a nickel plus carbon monoxide. Okay. Then seventh question, explain zone refining process with the example using Eleglan diagram and given below. Zone refining process. So zone refining process, this principle is a carried out fractional crystallization. We can take impure metal is a melted and allowed to solidify. So the impurity will prefer to remain in the melted region. That is, the impurities are more soluble in the melt, that is solid state metal. So in this process, the impure metals are taken in the form of rod. One end of the rod is heated using mobile induction heater, melting the metal at the portion of the other rod. When the heater is slowly moved to the other and the pure metal crystallized while impurities move on the adjacent molten zone, they form the movement of the heater. Okay, this process is repeated several times. The moving heater the same direction again and again to destroy the purity level. Okay, the next one. Give the uses of zinc. So zinc is used for the galvanization to product iron and steel structure for rusting and corrosion. Then zinc sulfate used for the making luminous paints, fluorescent light and X-ray scans. Okay. Then zinc oxide is used to manufacture of paint, rubber, cosmetic, pharmaceuticals and plastic inks and batteries, textile and electrical equipment. The next question, explain the electrometallurgy of aluminium. So the electrometallurgy of aluminium is carried out with the Hall Heroult process. The cathode is an iron tank linked with the carbon, anode is a carbon black, then electrolyte is 20% solution of aluminium obtained from bauxite ore plus molten cerulite 10% calcium chloride. So at a temperature 1270 Kelvin, the ionization of the aluminum, that is aluminum oxide, gives aluminum plus oxide. Then the reaction at the cathode, aluminum melt gives aluminum. The reaction at the anode, the oxygen melt, O2 plus Fe. So since carbon acts as anode, the following reaction take place. So the aluminum net electrolysis reaction, aluminum plus oxygen we get plus carbon, we get aluminum plus carbon monoxide. Then explain the following terms with the suitable example, gaunch, slag. So what is meant by gaunch? The non-metallic impurities, rocky material, siliceous matter present in the ores are called gaunch. Then slag means it's a fusible chemical substance formed with the reaction of gaunch with the flux. It is called as a slag. Then give the basic requirement for vapor phase refining. So the metal is treated with the suitable reagent to form volatile compound. The volatile compound decompose to give pure metal. Okay, these are the basic requirement for vapor phase refining. The next question, what are the explain the principle of electrolytic refining with an example. So the crude metal is a refined, electrolysis carried out in an electrolytic cell. So the cathode, the thin strips of pure metal, anode is a impure metal to be refined. So the electrolysis aqueous solution of the salt metal with a dilute acid. When current is passed, the metal is dissolved from anode and passed into the electrolytic solution. At the same time, same amount of metal ion, the electrolytic solution will deposit at the cathode. So we get a pure silver, then a impure cathode, anode is a impure silver rod. The electrolytic is acidified aqueous solution of silver nitrate, and current passing, the following reaction will be take place. Then next question, Eleglan diagram. Then the limitation of Eleglan diagram. The Eleglan diagram is constructed based only the thermodynamic consideration. It gives information about the thermodynamic feasibility of reaction. It does not tell anything about the rate of the reaction. Okay. Then write short note on electrochemical principle of metallurgy. So the electrochemical principle of metallurgy, the reduction of oxide of active metals such as sodium, potassium, etc. by carbon is a thermodynamic is not feasible. Such metals are extracted from the ore by using electrochemical method. So in this method we use metal salts are taken the fuse form or in a solution form. So the Gibbs free energy change of the electrolyte, the del G naught equal to minus NFE naught. So you know the what is N and what is A. N is the number of electrons, F is a Faraday, E naught is called as a electropotential. So E naught is a positive, that del G naught is a negative, the reaction is a spontaneous. Okay. The next question, some more important question in this lesson. Some important questions in first lesson, leaching, what is leaching, ammonia leaching, cyanide leaching, acid leaching, Eleglan diagram, then limitation of Eleglan diagram, etc. Okay. Now we move on to the next lesson, second lesson, P block elements 1. Okay. First question, write short note on anomalous properties of first element of P block. So the following factors are responsible for the anomalous properties of the first element of P block element. The first one is the small size of a first member. Then second one is high ionization enthalpy and high electronegativity. Then third one, absence of d orbital in the valence shell. These are the following factors for responsible anomalous properties of P block elements. Then second one, describe briefly allotrophism in P block element with specific reference to carbon. Some elements exhibit more than one crystalline or molecular form in the same physical state. This phenomena is called as a allotrophism. So the different form of element are called as a allotropes. So example for allotropes, carbon exit as a diamond, graphite, carbon, graphene, fullerene, carbon nanotubes. Then third question, boron does not react directly with hydrogen. Suggest one method to prepare diborane from boron trifluoride. By reducing gaseous boron trifluoride with the sodium hydrate at 450 Kelvin, diborane is obtained. The equation boron trifluoride BF3 plus sodium hydrate 6NaH at 450 we get a diborane. B2H6 is the formula of diborane plus 6NaF, that is sodium fluoride. The next question, give the uses of borax. So borax we can use for identification of colored metals, that is borax bead test. The test is called as a borax bead test. Then manufacture of optical borosilicate glass enamels, flux in metallurgy, and it is a good preservative. Then fourth one, that is the fifth one, sorry. What is catenation? Describe the, sometimes it may be asked in what is catenation in 2 marks question or 3 marks question. Describe the briefly catenation property of carbon, it may be asked in 5 marks question. So what is catenation? First we know the meaning of catenation. So the catenation is the ability of element to form chain of atoms. The condition of catenation, the valence of element is greater than or equal to 2. The element should have ability to bond with itself. The self bond must be strong as it bond with the other element. The kinetic inertness of catenate compounds towards other molecule. So these are the properties to show carbon shows a catenation. Then next question, write short note on, that is write note on Fischer-Tropsch synthesis. So in this reaction, carbon monoxide reacts with hydrogen at pressure less than 50 atmosphere, the temperature 500 to 700, the presence of metal catalyst to give the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon. So the reaction is NCO plus 2N plus 1 H gives us CnH2n plus 2. That is CnH2n plus 2 is a alkane series. You already studied in 11th standard. So it is a homologous series alkane. Then plus NH2O. Then NCO plus 2NH2O gives us CnH2n. That is a alkene. It is unsaturated plus NH2O. Okay. Then give the structure of CO and CO2. The structure of CO, that is a carbon monoxide. The structure is a linear. 3 electron pairs shared between the carbon and a hydrogen. The bond distance is 1.128 Armstrong. Okay, then structure of carbon monoxide, the structure is a linear, equal bond distance for both CO bond. So the 2 CO sigma bond, there are 2 CO sigma bond. In addition of 3 electron, 3 centered, 4 electron bond covering all the 3 atoms. This is the structure of carbon dioxide. And 8th question, give the uses of silicones. Silicone can be used for low temperature lubrication and vacuum pumps, high temperature oil bath, then waterproof cloths. Then next question, aluminum chloride behave like as a Lewis acid. So statement, the aluminum has only 3 valence electrons. So the 3 electrons are used to form 3 covalent bond. Aluminum atom has only 6 electrons in the outermost shell. So aluminum is short of one pair of attached to octet configuration. So it is electron deficient. So it is called as a accept electron pair from electron rich compound. So it acts as a Lewis acid, because the Lewis acid is to accept the electron pair from a electron rich compound. It is called as a Lewis acid. The next question, describe the structure of diborane. There is a 10th question. This is the structure of diborane. In diborane, 2 BH2 units. So the BH2 units means this is a 1 BH2 units. This one is another BH2 units. Okay. The 2 BH2 units are linked with the 2 bridged hydrogen. So that this is a 1 bridged hydrogen. This is another bridged hydrogen. Okay. So there are the 8 BH bond. So look at the diagram here, the 8 BH bond. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So totally 8 BH bond. Then next, the 4 terminal BH bonds are normal covalent bond. The 2 carbon 2 a bond. The remaining 4 electron use the bridge bond, that is 3 center BH bonds. So these bonds are 3 center 2 electron bond. The bridging hydrogen atoms are in a plane. The boron is a sp3 hybridized. The 3 sp3 hybridized orbital contains 3 single electron. The fourth orbital is empty. Then 2 off-filled sp3 hybridized orbital, each boron overlap with the 2 hydrogen to form 4 terminal 2 carbon 2 electron bonds. Okay. Then write short note on hydroboration. Diboron adds an alkenes and alkynes, double bond and a triple bond in either ether solvent at a room temperature. So this reaction is called as a hydroboration. It can be used for synthesis of organic chemistry, especially for the anti-Markovnik addition. The next one, give one example for each of the following. Then group name, icosine, then example boron, then tetrogen, example carbon, pictrogen, example nitrogen, then halogen, example oxygen. The next question, write short note on metallic nature of p block element. So the metallic nature of p block element, the tendency of element to form cation by losing electron is known as a electropositive or metallic character. So this character depends on the ionization energy. So on moving down the group, that is on moving down the group, as we move down the group, the ionization energy decreases and the metallic character is increases. The ionization energy as we move down the group decreases, the metallic nature will be increases. Okay. So the next question, how will you identify borate radical? When boric acid or borate salt is heated with ethyl alcohol, the presence of corn sulfuric acid, ester trialkyl borate is formed. The vapor of the ester burns with a green edged flame. So the ethyl borate is to identify the borate radical. So boric acid formula H3BO3. It's react with ethanol, that is formula C2H5OH with the corn H2SO4. We get a BOC2H5 trice, that is ethyl borate green edge flame. The next one, write short note on zeolite. So zeolite, it has a 3-dimensional crystalline solid. It containing aluminum, silicon, oxygen. It's a regular 3-dimensional framework. So they are hydrated sodium aluminum silicate. The general formula of zeolite, NaO, Al2O3, X SiO2, Y water, where X equal to 2 to 10, Y equal to 2 to 6. X is a SiO2, Y is a water. So zeolite has a porous structure with the monovalent sodium ions. The water molecules are loosely hindered. So silicon and aluminum are tetraodally coordinated with each other through shared oxygen atom. So the zeolite have a 3-dimensional crystalline structure, look like a honeycomb consisting of network interconnected with the tunnels and cages. So zeolite are used to remove the permanent oddness of water. The next question, how will you convert boric acid to boron nitride? Then fusion of urea with boric acid, BOH trice, in the atmosphere of ammonia at 800 to 1200 Kelvin gives boron nitrate. So the equation is BOH trice plus NH3 B at 800 to 1200 Kelvin, we get a boron nitrate. That is the formula is Bn. This is a boron nitrate plus water. Okay. Next we move on to the third lesson, P block elements 2. The next lesson is P block elements 2. The first question is, what is inert pair effect? It is a very important question. So what is inert pair effect? As we move down the group in P block element, the NS2 electron become inert and do not involve in a chemical combination. So only NP electrons involved in a chemical combination. As a result, higher oxidation state is a less stable, the lower oxidation state is a more stable. So this is known as a inert pair effect. The next question, halogen belong to P block, give reason. That is the 16th group. So the halogens belongs to P block element because the outer electron configuration NS2 NP4. So in this element the last electron enter in NP orbital. So it belongs to the P block elements. The next question, explain why fluorine is always exhibit oxidation state -1. Because the fluorine is a most electronegative element. It exhibit only negative oxidation state, that is a -1. Then one more reason, the absence of the d orbital fluorine does not show the positive oxidation state. Then next question, to calculate the oxidation state of the halogen in the following: OF2, O2F2, Cl2O3 and IOF. So fluorine exhibit only -1 oxidation. The oxidation number of fluorine for each state, OF2 is a +3, then I2OF4 minus, that I2O4 is a +4. Okay, then next question, what are interhalogens compound? Give example. What is meant by interhalogen? Means it is a 17th family, that is a fluorine, chlorine, bromine. It is called as a halogen. What is a interhalogen compounds? Each halogen combined with the other halogen, that is halogen combined with the other halogen. For example, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine is called as a halogen. The fluorine is a combined with the bromine. Otherwise, the bromine is a combined with the iodine. It is called as a interhalogen compound. Okay. The example ClF, or F3. The next, why fluorine is a more reactive than other halogen? So the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, the fluorine is a more reactive compared to the other halogen, because the fluorine is the most reactive element among halogen. This is a low value of it. So the fluorine F2, the bond dissociation is very low. So fluorine is a more reactive than other halogen. Then 7th one, write the uses of, that is give the uses of helium. So helium is used for the provide inert atmosphere in the electrical and welding of metals. That is used for the lowest boiling point, is used for the cryogenic. Then is helium is much less denser than air. It is used for filling the air balloons. Then next, what is the hybridization of iodine? Give structure. The interhalogen IF7 is hybridization is sp3d3. The structure is a pentagonal bipyramidal. The next question, give the balanced equation of the reaction between chlorine with the cold NaOH and hot NaOH. So the chlorine react with the cold NaOH, that is a 2NaOH. We get a compound sodium hypochlorite. The formula is NaOCl, that is a sodium hypochlorite. Then again, chlorine react with the hot NaOH, hot to get sodium chloride. Cold NaOH we get a sodium hypochlorite. Hot NaOH we get a sodium chlorate. Hypochlorite formula is NaOCl. Then sodium chlorate formula is NaClO3. This is a sodium chlorate. This is a sodium hypochlorite, NaOCl. The next question, how will you prepare chlorine in the laboratory? In the laboratory, chlorine is prepared by the oxidation of hydrochloric acid by potassium permanganate. KMnO4 is a potassium permanganate. Hydrochloric acid is HCl. We get a KCl, MnCl2, water plus chlorine. So we can prepare chlorine in a laboratory. The next question, give the uses of sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid used mainly for fertilizer purpose, ammonium sulfate and superphosphate. Then this is used for the preparation of the pigment and the explosive. The next question, give reason the support. The sulfuric acid is a dehydrating agent. Sulfuric acid is highly soluble in water. It is a strong affinity towards water. It can be used as a dehydrating agent. Then write the reason for the anomalous behavior of nitrogen. The first reason is it is a small size. It's a highly electronegativity, non-ability of d orbital in the valence shell. Okay, the next question is, write the valence shell electronic configuration of group 15 elements. So the valence shell electronic configuration of group 15 is a NS2Np3. The group 15 is a nitrogen family, so it is a NS2Np3. The next, give to equation illustrate chemical behavior of phosphine. Basic nature, phosphine is a weakly basic and form phosphonium salt. pH3 plus Hi gives pH4i. It react with water, that is we get a phosphine. The next question, give a reaction between nitric acid and a basic oxide. Nitric acid react with the basic oxide to form salt and water. So FeO plus 10HNO3 we get FeNO3. This is salt, and water 5H2O. What happens when PCl5 is heated? The PCl5 in heated, that is a PCl5 is a phosphorus pentachloride, decompose into phosphorus trichloride and chlorine, that is a PCl3 and Cl2. The next question, Suggest a reason why HF is a weak acid, whereas binary acid of the whole halogen is a strong acid. So the reason is, among halogen acid, halogen acid means HF, HCl, say halogen acid. So the electronegative difference maximum, HF acid, the HF bond stronger than acid is a HF bond is a stronger than HF is a H and F is stronger, and the acid HF is a weaker. Discussed reduce the oxidation state of oxygen hypofluorous acid. The hypofluorous acid is a more, the fluorine does not form oxoacid of hypofluorous acid because fluorine is a more electronegative than oxygen. So these are the important questions of P block elements 2. Then next we move on to the next lesson, transition and inner transition, that is a unit 4. Next lesson is transition and inner transition elements. So in this lesson, important questions: what are transition element, give for example. Then what are inner transition element. Then next, justify the position of lanthanide and actinide in periodic table. Then what are actinides, give 3 example. Why gadolinium 2 plus is a colorless. Then explain why compound of copper 2 plus are colored but those of zinc 2 plus are colorless. Explain the preparation of potassium dichromate. What is lanthanide contraction? What are the effect of lanthanide contraction? The next question, what are interstitial compounds? Then write the electronic configuration of cerium 4 plus and CO2 plus. The next, which is more stable, Fe2 plus or Fe3 plus? Compare the lanthanide and the actinides. Explain why Cr2 is strongly reducing while Mn3 plus is strongly oxidizing. Then next, calculate the number of unpaired electrons, some elements, and calculate the spin only magnet. Then compare the ionization of first series of transition element. Then next question, which is a stronger reducing agent, Cr2 plus or Fe2 plus? The next important question, transition metals show high melting point to why? Then why ionization enthalpy, that is the first ionization enthalpy of chromium alloy that of zinc. Then describe the variable oxidation state of 3D series element. Okay, so these are the important questions in transition and in a transition elements. Students, watch the link carefully. Kindly go through all the question answer. Prepare well for your exam. Thank you.